Welcome to the special episode of The Real Dish called Foodpreneurs, where once a month we take a deep dive into the world of food entrepreneurship with a special focus on leading innovators. Today I'm interviewing David Figueroa, the visionary founder of Melinda's Hot Sauces. David transformed Melinda's from a small family business into an internationally recognized brand known for its gourmet, flavor-forward approach to heat. In this episode, we'll explore how David's entrepreneurial journey offers invaluable lessons for anyone looking to build a business from the ground up. From his commitment to quality ingredients and authentic flavors to his ability to scale a brand in a highly competitive market, David exemplifies the balance between passion and smart business strategy. So whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or just curious about what it takes to create a successful brand, or hey, you just love food, there's so much to learn from his story. So grab a seat at the chef's table as we unpack his journey, the key challenges he's overcome, and the mindset that has driven Melinda's sauces to becoming a household name. And if anybody was wondering, my personal favorite is the black truffle. Let's dig in. David, it's so great to have you on.
Thank you, Maria, for having me.
It's been a long time coming. And I've been such a fan of your products for so long, but I would love to share a little bit with our listeners about how you got started in the world of food.
I will, but I have one quick footnote. I'm a big admirer of yours, and I told my mother about you. Because my mother is a hardcore gut biome, health and fitness fanatic later in life. She's 81, and
so
she
cool.
started her journey about 12 years ago, and she looks like she's 50.
So cool. See?
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Such proof that
I don't know if
it's
she'll do
never too
bikinis
late.
with you, but you know, she's pretty amazing for her age.
I want to meet her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, so where were we?
How did you get started in the world of food? Food is beautiful and it's wonderfully complex. It's also not an easy road to work in. And
I
so
was fortunate enough to grow up in a multicultural household. My parents are Middle Eastern. They're Hispanic. They're from Belize, Central America, but their people came from the Middle East to Central America, in the early part of the century. And, they cooked all this amazing food. I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky for 14 years, and then we moved to New Orleans. So in Louisville, it's a tasteless, bland, boring city, food scene. Back then, it's more vibrant now, but back then it was nothing. And but in our household, we had habanero pepper trees in our backyard. We always had amazing Belizean food, Middle Eastern food. My mom would make the calabacitas and the malfouf and all the amazing hummus in the world. And then she would shift over and make Belizean-style stewed chicken, rice and beans, potato salad, which is like the traditional Sunday dinner. In Belize. She also dabbles in Italian and other cuisines. And so I grew up fascinated with her and her cooking. And, we grew up in a very tasteful world because, where we grew up in a boring little town in America where food wasn't great, but our house was on fire all the time. And my dad always had like a little plate next to his food. He had to have his tortillas and his roasted habanero right out of the toaster oven, and he would mash everything on top of that pepper. This is way before pepper sauce ever came into our mind. My brother Greg and I were right there. Wow, watch Dad. He's eating that pepper, and then eventually we started eating that pepper. And once you get that taste in your mouth for those habaneros, it's over. You've got to eat that. So later on in life, when we had an opportunity to start into this business, we took it. I was a young marketing professional working as a junior executive at an ad agency through an internship that turned into a job, trying to finish off college. And my brother was working on all kinds of business deals, international trade deals and stuff like that. And he brought the hot sauce to me, and I said, well, look, let's rebrand this. Let's think of a better label. Let's do this. Let's do that. And we had no idea what we were doing when it came to actually getting it in distribution, but we had tons of hustle. And we started giving it away to friends and family and restaurants. And our first distributor picked up our hot sauce at a sandwich shop that we left it at, called us up and said, "Hey, I need to get this into the grocery store for you guys."
That's so cool.
And that led to bigger distributors, and within 2 years, we had Melinda's national in every grocery store in the United States.
How many years has Melinda's been on the shelf?
We just celebrated our 35th anniversary in June.
I had no idea that
Most
the
people
brand
don't,
had
because
been
we've
around
had
that long.
Early history, and we kind of had some quiet years where we were doing my brother and I are just entrepreneurial animals. We'll do and try anything that sounds like a great idea. And about 7 years ago, we said, nope, we're going to stop all of that, and we're going to focus on Melinda's, because Melinda's was a good, solid business, but not necessarily a thriving company. And we decided that the brand needed innovation, it needed investment, it needed a true plan. And I was actually living in Louisiana, and I moved my family here from New Orleans to Dallas, to our corporate headquarters, and I got tired of commuting. And I said, let's just do it, and let's focus. Let's put the blinders on, because that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs have a real
We're
problem
idea
with
monkeys.
politeness, and you just need the blinders on, and then you go forth and you get after it. And we've done all of these steps, and thank God they've all been successful. Every milestone that we've set, we've hit, and now we're shattering milestones.
Listen.
We're breaking the ceiling right now, of where this sauce company could go. And a lot of the reasons probably why, we didn't grow faster was that we do have a lot of variety. We don't have a one hot sauce superstar like Basco and Crystal and Frank's Red Hot. They all have that one big, SKU. Melinda's is, I like to call it the conglomerate of heat and flavor. There's 41, 7 years ago, there was only maybe 18 or 19.
41 flavors.
7 years, In the last 7 years, our truffle didn't even exist back then.
Which we're going to talk about the truffle in a minute, because that is my go-to. I put that ish on everything. But how do you decide what flavors to develop because of your vast array of different? And I want to just kind of share some of the flavors with our listeners, because they really do span a lot of different types of cuisines and different profiles. I mean, you have a spicy Parmesan, you have a garlic hot sauce, you've got a pizza hot sauce, you've got a gochujang sauce, which I'm loving. I've been using that a lot. That's kind of, I think, my runner-up to the black truffle. She's my sweetheart. She's just divine. And so I'm just curious, how do you decide what flavor profile to go with? And is it inspired by your own, breath? I'd love to see you do a Middle Eastern one, but your own family heritage.
Well, yes. And, a lot of it is, a lot of it's market driven. A lot of it has to do with, what's going on in the market at this time. There's always trends in cuisine. We're not always the innovator. Sometimes we're the imitator, but I believe when we're the imitator that we surpass, because there's other truffle hot sauces out there that don't taste as good as ours. And I think, when Melinda's Brain Trust, which is my brother Greg and I, decide to put out a truffle hot sauce, we worked hard to make sure that was the tastiest truffle hot sauce out there. Now, we didn't make it vegan or vegetarian, because we did put some Parmesan in there, but truffle and Parmesan are like match made in heaven. So, we needed a little bit of that in there. We thought, to add that little umami, that little extra touch, make it super savory and delicious. So a lot of it is that. A lot of it is in the beginning, we wanted to feature multiple chili peppers. And so it was like, what's the next hottest pepper that's coming out? Let's make a sauce for that. That's kind of like our core 5-ounce bottle line, the classic glass bottles. Mm-hmm. They kind of follow. We started with habanero, and then, a few years later, we thought the habanero was the hottest pepper in the world, and somebody came out with something called the red Savina, and we're like, oh shoot, we better get our hands on some of that. Mm-hmm. And that was a pepper that was grafted by a botanist out of California.
Is that hotter than a ghost pepper?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. No. Yeah. So you came out with the ghost pepper black truffle sauce. That was like, whew, that's serious.
So ghost peppers were around, but no one in the United States really knew about them because they came from India, Southeast India, and from Nagaland and Assam. So those were discoveries. As people started getting into chili, there was grafting and creating super peppers on one side, and then there was discovery. The ghost pepper was, a discovery to people in the United States. Obviously, people that lived over there knew about it a long time ago. And the reason it's called the ghost pepper, do you know?
I'm not sure I do.
Okay, so over there in I think Assam, they believe that when you die, you see your spirit leave your body.
Oh.
And
so literally you watch yourself float away when you eat.
Right. So boot jolakia means ghost chili or ghost pepper. Mm-hmm. And so that's what it means.
It is an out-of-body experience.
Their idea of what ghost is different than our idea. Our ghost is scary. Their ghost is something more spiritual, However, regardless, it's hot. It's hot.
It's
a
hot.
hot pepper.
It is a hot.
Yeah. And then, you have the other peppers that have come along through select breeding, grafting, like the Butch Tea, and then now you've got the Reaper, the Carolina Reaper.
Carolina Reaper, yeah. So you're bringing in all of these ingredients from all over the world. How is sourcing done to ensure that your supply chain can,
Well, we get contracts and we cultivate. And we get contracts with farmers. And, now our business is in Colombia. At one time it was in Costa Rica. And we moved to Colombia because of the vast bounty of exotic fruits and vegetables, the warmer climates along the coastline where the southern part of Colombia where we do our manufacturing produces. I just, when I go there and I eat, like, say, an avocado, our avocados they're okay. You eat an avocado over there, it's like biting into a bowl of cream. It's phenomenal. When you eat a piece of fresh corn, it snaps. It's just, things there are really remarkable and fresh. And, everything can grow there. So it's ideal. We cannot do it in this country the way we do it down there. And it's just really, finding the right partners that can handle the production. And even in the case of cultivating peppers, habaneros grow easy, so do jalapenos. Ghost peppers are a little trickier. Scorpion peppers are even trickier. So it seems like the more specialized or hotter the chili is, it's sometimes a little more difficult to grow. Not every chili grows the same way. They all need special care. And we lost crops of ghost peppers in the beginning. We didn't get the yields that we wanted, and we finally worked it out and figured it out.
Did you, when you decide you want to pursue a flavor, how do you kind of just decide, okay, this is it? Do you work with focus groups? Do you test the product on other people? Like, how do you, because it's one thing, even like as a chef, like you'll taste your food and you'll go, okay, it tastes a certain way, but you almost want like that input of someone else to just kind of like outside of your own taste buds to say, yeah, this needs a little more salt.
We don't have to go outside of the family. We don't have to go outside of the family.
The family is where you make the decisions.
Myself, my brother, and then we have our two sons in the business now, and they're both amazing young men.
That's so
really, really helping grow the company and lead us into a new area that we've never been before. It's wonderful. But we all sit down and we taste these things, and we trust each other because we all have amazing palates. My brother comes up with the majority of these sauces. We discuss them. We come up with these ideas. We talk about ingredients. We bounce them back. We get our samples. We try them. We fly down there. And we work in the, test kitchen. My brother Greg does a tremendous amount of that work. And then on this end, we do a lot of the tasting and the tweaking. And then I get in the kitchen and I start making stuff with it and see, how it tastes on food and how it applies to the real world. And, is it coating well? Is it performing like a sauce should? And, we're going to be cocky about it a little bit. We're good at it. We're really good at it because I feel we have this flavor background unique to us that, a lot of people don't share in that same experience.
I really love the breadth of flavors. And I'm going to say that I end up using the sauces not just to top my food, but like as an integral part of making a sauce. Like if you think about it, just let's talk about the simple ingredients that go into any kind of base hot sauce. You're talking about chilies, you're talking about tomato, you're talking about onions, garlic, spices, vinegar, all of these things that actually contribute very beautifully to almost any umami kind of dish. So why wouldn't you use that as a base to kind of like enhance the flavor, kind of give it a little boost? How do
I think you just answered it for me.
What's that?
I think you just answered it for me.
Yeah, I think that's like a nice, and I believe in shortcuts. I believe in like smart shortcuts. But how do you then educate your consumers on how to think that way, or kind of go beyond like what a hot sauce is known as, like just being the finishing thing that you put on? Because I do think that it's just like any sauce. You have the ability to develop it into something that looks completely different and is unique to yourself and your cooking style.
I have been absolutely blown away by the amount of chefs, even celebrity chefs that I've encountered in my life that all have had Melinda's in their life, in their refrigerator, pantry. The late, great Charlie Trotter, one of the greatest chefs of all time, took me unexpectedly from the table on a tour of his restaurant, showed me his wine cellar, showed me his kitchen, took me down into a little room where he eats his meal every night at the end of his shift. He opened up the door and he goes, "Look at that." And there was every Melinda's at the time that we made in his little mini fridge.
That feels good.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's like the ultimate.
My hero, and he's showing me the Melinda's, and I'm like, wow.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah.
So I have to tell you, I think something that's also pretty ingenious, that it occurred to me, like, why wouldn't you do it this way, are your squeeze bottles. Who came up with the idea of the squeeze bottle? Because we make sauces in the restaurant world, and we'll put them into squeeze bottles to make it easy to put on anything. You put your oil in there, you put your vinegars and things like that, and it just makes it easier than pouring things or trying to like shake something out. I just think the squeeze bottle's brilliant. Like, why? How did that come about? And why?
In addition to the fact that there's a whole generation of kids that are now adults and parents that grew up squeezing bottles in America versus pounding on them. In addition to that, you are correct. It is a great way, to use that little tip to dress your plate and decorate and stuff. And we just felt like, as we went from traditional hot sauces, our glass bottle hot sauces, into a squeeze bottle, the idea was, one of the things that's crazy in the hot sauce business, like say versus the beverage business. If you're in the beverage business, it's like boom, boom, boom. Turnover is super quick.
Okay, when it comes to cooking and doing it in a way that is healthy for your fit life, there's a few things that we have to keep in mind. Number one, is it functional? Number two, is it clean? Meaning, does it contain any of those yucky coatings that they add to cookware nowadays, especially the nonstick kind? We don't need that. We don't want that. And number 3, is it pretty? Because, hey, if it's aesthetic, it's going to make us feel pretty good when we cook on it. And that's why I am totally digging Hexclad cookware. Talk about the most gorgeous cookware you will ever use. Plus, it's totally functional and healthy to use. Hexclad's patented hybrid cookware brings performance of the stainless steel, the durability of cast iron, and the convenience of nonstick all in one. That, my friends, is Michelin level standards with cleanup convenience, because when we're cooking at home, we don't want to be scrubbing dishes all day long either. So now you can unleash your potential in the kitchen without any limits. What I love about it, that nonstick hybrid technology coupled with excellent temperature control. You've got to be able to temper your temperature to get that great sear and to do the nice poaches. Easy care, so it's going to clean up easy, and easy cleaning. All of that with the additional benefit of being free from toxic coatings and having a lifetime warranty. This is the cookware you're going to use for life, my friends. So it's time to take a little assessment of the cookware that you have. If you have your hand-me-down Teflon cookware, it's time to throw it out and invest in a nice new set. And Hexclad is going to deliver on its promise with that lifetime warranty. I can't recommend it enough. I'm totally infatuated with mine. Can I say that? Infatuated. And I know you're going to be too. So make sure you head over to hexclad.com/Chef Maria, and you'll get up to 30% off your new cookware. Start the year off right and cook with delight. How about that for a rhyme? No, seriously though. Use my code Chef Maria at hexclad.com. That's HEXCLAD.com. And you'll get up to 30% off your purchase. You will not be disappointed.
When you're in the hot sauce business, someone might buy a bottle of hot sauce and they might hold on to it for months, even a year.
Yeah.
Developing a crust around the edge. It's mainly those red hot sauces like the Tabascos and the Frank's Red Hots and the Cholulas that, go in the pantry and stay for a long time. We were like, you know what, we need more approachable, flavorful hot sauces, and then we need to put them into that squeeze bottle because you squeeze out more, you use more when it's a squeeze bottle. It's so much more productive coming out of the bottle than trying to shake it, or you'd have to pull off the little regulator, and then you don't really have any control of where it lands on the plate. So the squeeze bottle has multiple benefits, and we do use recyclable plastic, and it's non-BPA and all of the things that it should be, and it's just a great, some people don't like it, some people absolutely love it, and
I think it's great. I think it makes it super utilitarian. And you're right. I think you do end up using more, and you think about using it in a way that's more creative, whether it's to finish the plate, to make it look pretty, or to add that seasoning. Yeah. And when you had said that the part about topping your food or cooking with it. So I just want to go back to that real quick. When we first started, we looked at sauces like Tabasco. As always, any comparison was Tabasco in the old days. Oh, this tastes better than Tabasco, or oh, this is different than Tabasco, or whatever it was. Tabasco was always, talk 35 years ago, was always in the conversation. But one thing that always stood out to me about Melinda's is if I am cooking all day and I'm making something that has a lot of depth of flavor in it, do I want to pour hot sour vinegar on top that's going to mask or overpower all of that hard work that I did? Or I want a sauce that can blend in and add heat and flavor and not really stand out and say, oh, here, I'm on top of your food, I'm making it taste like hot sauce. No, you want something that blends. You want something that, truly becomes a complement to your dish. And I can say that all day, but the feedback I get on that is tremendous. I get that, I hear that, like I say, from chefs, from cooks, from home cooks, from professionals, from all sorts of walks of lives. We hear these talking points back from people. Oh yeah, it's already developed flavor, so it makes it really conducive.
I mean, we cook our sauces, we pasteurize our sauces. A lot
I
of
was
sauces
I was
are
just
cooked.
going to ask about that. So I was going to ask about like the process of making a sauce. I mean, I know there are a lot of sauces, and you mentioned it earlier, where you could leave it out for years and it won't go bad, but it's filled
Yeah.
with artificial preservatives and some pretty
Well, one
severe.
of the good things about the hot sauce business is that vinegar, lime, and salt, those were the preservatives of the world
Yeah.
before any chemical process came along. I mean, people salted meat and fish and traveled the world,
Or
using
pickled.
salt. Or pickled, pickled, brine, salted, fermented. All of these techniques, preserve food for a long period of time without refrigeration. So, using those basic things with hot sauce works really well as long as your pH is balanced and
Yeah.
you're working in a clean environment and you're not introducing any kind of bacteria. But that's one of the main reasons we pasteurize. We want to make sure that we're bottling something that can have at least a 2-year shelf life, that can be left out and not refrigerated. We have a big issue with people in the hot sauce business. I would say fans and customers saying, "Oh, my wife is so upset with me because there's no room in our refrigerator for anything else but hot sauce." Like, you don't have to keep it in the refrigerator unless it actually says refrigerate after opening. I like my hot sauce room temperature. I don't like cold sauces, so if I don't have to refrigerate it, I won't.
Yeah. Yeah. My husband has asked me if I plan to bring any more sauces into the house because I already have a whole shelf in our pantry dedicated to just
Yeah.
sauce. I'm like, I might, because I might. I don't put it past me.
I mean, maybe you need to blow the pantry wall out and extend
I
it.
know, right? So do you own your own manufacturing facility or do you co-pack? And talk to us about why you think one or the other is the way to go.
Well, obviously, if you're getting started, co-packing, if you find the right co-packer, that's the most sensible arrangement. We've had co-packers before, but now we're in a partnership. So our manufacturing group is a part owner of the brand, and we have several investors now, and one of them is our manufacturing group out of Colombia. So we are partners.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, we're all in it together now at this point, and let's say this manufacturing plant has had to expand twice in the last 2 years to keep up with Melinda's. We've gone from a very small brand that was ranked in the, I think 7-8 years ago, we were like 21 in the country. And now by volume, we're number 3.
Wow.
And by rank overall, we're number 8.
Bravo. That's not a small achievement considering the competition out there. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is really, I saw your whole lineup in Amazon Fresh the other day. I was like, there they are.
Nice, yeah. I mean, really, if you're a retailer out there right now and you're not carrying Melinda's, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, and just let me
People are looking.
let me crush on it a little bit because, I think also as aficionados of heat in my family, we are like heat seekers, especially my son and I. We like a good spicy something. And, he is an aspiring chef. He's planning on going to culinary school. And when he found out that I was going to be interviewing you, he's like, wait, what? He's like, that is so cool. He doesn't crush on a lot of people or get excited, but he was super excited that we were going to be doing this. And he and I, we definitely enjoy cooking together and using Melinda's. But I think there's something to be said about taking, being a foodie or being a chef, but then taking your idea and then taking it to the masses. But there's always going to be, because it's opinion, right? Some people are going to like it. Some people are going to say, oh, it needs this or it needs that, or it's too this or it's too that. How do you interact with your customer to make sure that they are, their needs are being met and at the same time convey your your need to be creative at the creative helm, because it's kind of like going into a restaurant and being like, oh, you just brought me this beautiful medium rare steak. Can you take it back, cook it, and put some A1 on it? I mean, no, I won't do that. But how do you help the consumer understand that this is probably an executive decision you're going to need to take?
Well, I never really run into that problem because we have so much variety. It's like, well, if you don't like my black truffle, I've got this fire roasted sauce you could try. It's unbelievable. It's brand new.
Oh, I haven't tried that one.
This
David?
is the jalapeno fire roasted. The red one. I mean,
I know that one. The fire roasted is
one
of my favorites.
Sauces. Yeah, this one is blowing up. So we decided it needed a green partner.
Nice. Ooh, I got to try that green one.
And it's delicious. And it's the same process. We fire roast the garlic and the chilies, and then it goes into
that fire roasting does something magical.
It adds something savory. It adds a little touch of char.
It's that smokiness. I like that smokiness, that depth of flavor.
This is our Christmas edition.
So it's like, yeah, there's variety. You don't like one, try another. Try a different taste profile. One that I really like is your Thai chili sauce. That Thai chili sauce is really interesting.
That's number 2 in sales right now. It's a stud for us. It's a delicious sauce. It's got a lot of sweet depth to it. People really like it.
Yeah.
Very simple. Ginger, garlic,
So there's always, with the successes, especially of running a business for over 30 years, I'm sure you've seen your fair number of challenges too. What has been maybe the biggest hurdle or obstacle for you, in this run with Melinda's?
Well, I think we had a defining moment in 2005. We were in New Orleans and Hurricane Katrina hit. At the time, we had Melinda's and we had a coffee roastery plant down the road that we invested in and bought into. In one day, all of that was wrecked. And we were pretty small when this happened, and we were facing extinction because they were getting ready to close the city down. We had lost touch with some employees. We couldn't even find them. Cell phone towers were down. It was an absolute cataclysmic disaster. It scurried all of us away from the city on the road. We were all lost out there with family or in hotels. And we had a co-packer that we were working with in Dallas that said, come to Dallas and we'll give you a temporary office until you can, settle somewhere. And the kindness of, partners and the kindness of the city of Dallas, truly a wonderful, giving city with a big heart. Welcomed us in and gave us things we didn't even need, and just helped us restart. And then the other challenge was to get all of our inventory out of New Orleans before they closed the city down. They were going to close this access to the city for a while. And in the grocery business, there's no heart. If we missed a shipment, if we couldn't get our product out there in time, then we're going to lose shelf space to somebody else. They're not going to sit around and wait for you to kick back off months from now.
Yeah, I know this to be true.
That was a challenge because we all we didn't get to think about relocation. We were forced into relocation.
But you were able to be agile, and I'm imagining a lot of people listening who are entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs might remember 4 years ago something called the pandemic. Where our supply chain
good for our business, sadly.
Everything got turned upside down in recent history, and a lot of people didn't survive, and a lot of people weren't agile enough, or their supply chain was such that there was no substitution, there was no workaround. Do you feel like the situation with Katrina, which I'm sorry that happened, but you definitely did rebound, but did the pandemic have another impact, and were you able to kind of manage that better, maybe because of what had happened prior?
It was crazy. We had to lay off people. I even laid off my kids, it wasn't an easy situation, and then we turned Melinda's.com off for a while because there was no one to ship the product. And we didn't know what was going on. We were just concerned with, gosh, can we borrow some money? Can we do something to patch this up and get, hopefully survive when this is all settled out? And like 30 days later, we relaunched the website because everyone was home. And so we would send one person in to ship orders. Everyone was home ordering, looking to buy hot sauce.
Yeah.
Amazon was blowing up. Our website
Everybody was cooking. Nobody could go
Our
out.
website tripled in sales, as soon as we reopened it. It was some of the best months we've ever had. Everyone was cooking at home, and everyone was looking for a way to take, a frozen breast of chicken from Costco and jazz it up.
Yeah.
Give it a different flavor. Not everyone, can cook really well. So, we like to say that we can provide flavor solutions for people. In fact, there's a food company out there called Gordon Foods, restaurant distributor, that has a line of our sauces in pump bottles for chefs to use.
100%,
flavor.
as they should.
This whole idea of, ordering and cooking at home, baking bread, all this stuff that started happening, raising chickens, people started thinking about how to sustain themselves without having to go out and expose themselves. So it became a really interesting world. This conferencing we're doing right now became commonplace. We save a lot of money now. It's not always necessarily needed to fly out somewhere to go meet somebody when you can do it over the...
I think we can be efficient with certain things, but I think the bottom line is food unifies us, brings us to the table, helps to break down barriers, helps to, I think, soften the conversation. And I've always felt, because my grandfather told me this when I was young, he said that food was the great equalizer. That if we can just get people to the table, we could do a lot with it. If you were able,
Wise man.
if you were able to have any meal prepared by anybody and enjoy it with anyone, what would the dish be, and who would make it, and who would you eat it with? Because it's always better together, right?
Yeah.
I know you have a favorite dish.
That I would want my mother to make rice and beans and stewed chicken, our traditional Belizean dinner, and I'd want to sit down and share it with Bob Marley.
With Bob Marley? Cool.
Bob Marley.
Why? Why Bob?
Because he's a true prophet. He's a true leader, somebody the world could use more of right now. The world could use more of Bob's words and lessons, and the reason he was around was to spread a message of unity.
One love.
I think that's so important,
Yeah.
My 18-year-old son passed away 10 years ago. My eldest.
Oh my goodness.
One love was his eulogy. He wrote something that I read at his funeral, and it was all about that. And to me, that's just so heartfelt. That would be the thing that I would want.
David, I'm so sorry for your loss. Wow.
Well, it's a long time ago now. Thank you so much. And it's one of those things that is a heartbreaker, but also we have a strong family and we all circle around each other. And tragedies happened. Tragedies happened. So.
Well, I just respect you as a business person, as a visionary, as somebody that's taken a category and elevated it and reinvented it, and just as an awesome human being. And I feel like I've learned so much. I feel like we really need to go hang out though, because I feel like there's a lot, we could probably
mocktails and/or mocktails.
I was going to say mocktails and some Middle Eastern food sound, and with a little, I came up with this whole, cuisine called Med-Mex. And it is Mediterranean and Mexican fusion. So, and then I married a half Mexican guy. I was like, it was meant to be. But I think when you look, if you were to give one piece of advice to a budding entrepreneur or somebody that's listening that's like, my business is not thriving, like, and I know I have a great product, like, I don't know what to do though. Like, what would you give a person advice if they came to you? And I'm sure people come to you all the time and just say, like, what is the secret ingredient to success?
So my true profession is design, photography, writing. I am the creative person at Melinda's. Everything you see, every label, every graphic, website, I touch it all. I've probably designed about, I'd say close to 1,000 different labels, brands, because another side of our company, we design products for retailers that people don't even know we're involved, proprietary brands for stores. So people come to me all the time and they want to know, they want advice on how can I do this? How can I start? What am I doing? What am I doing wrong? And it's all about understanding the climate. And the climate 35 years ago is completely different than the climate is today. 35 years ago, it was grind, and try to get into the grocery stores. Now, getting into the grocery stores isn't necessarily the move for a young business owner because distributors and grocery stores will eat your lunch. They're designed to take as much of your profit as they can from you. And that's just a fact.
I know that all. I'm laughing right now, David. It's not funny, but we almost lost our shirts with Eat Cleaner in the first year. We almost had to close up shop because not only will they take a lot, it's not clear in the beginning just how much and how it works. And nobody really sits down and explains it to you. So it's you really need a coach. I always say, get yourself a good business coach, somebody that knows the space, that can guide you and help prevent the pitfalls that can actually cost you infinitely more than the coach would, because it is a landmine out there.
Well, there's a couple guys out there that are in this business. One, I helped him launch his business. Another has an amazing product, and I've given him some advice over the years. Just really telling him things I've come up against and how to avoid these things. Because there's no playbook out there, like you said. You need advice. What's the right move if you do start talking to a distributor? What rights do you want to give up and don't? But to me, if I was starting a brand right now from day one and I had limited capital, I would start at grassroots. I would start it in my community. I would start with local, farmers markets and fairs and events, things that are affordable and easy to get it out there, while I launched an Amazon store and a .com. And what I've learned about Amazon is it's the number one place that people go that intend to buy something. You don't go to Amazon to just browse. You're going there, and 9 times out of 10, you're leaving with a cart full of something. So, yes, people say, oh, yeah, well, there's fees and there's this and that. Well, guess what?
There's fees everywhere.
Including slotting, which most people don't have the money for.
Yeah.
What do you do if you have the greatest product in the world and, X grocer comes to you and says, okay, we're going to put all 3 of your items in, and that's going to be $300,000. And we'll give you 6 months. And after 6 months, we're going to review you. And if you don't have the right velocity, so many bottles per week.
We're shipping it all back.
We're going to clear that spot up and sell it to somebody else. Or yes, we might ship it back at your expense. Yes, these are the realities of the grocery business, Now, when you do get velocity like we have, and you do have sell-through, and you do have investment, and you can't afford to pay these things, it's a beautiful world. Or, if you get acquired by a larger company that has, really deep pockets, strategic investors and giant food companies, they can navigate these waters easily. But the small startup company often struggles and fails and dies right on the floor of the fancy food show because they spent so much money going there and they're not getting the revenue to replace that money. It's tough, but that's why I'm saying I would do I would present my product to as many people as possible, and I would start an Amazon store, and I would hire somebody or learn how do you market in Amazon, or just hire somebody that knows how to market in Amazon and build it, because it takes a while to build it, but when it starts to build, it's amazing. I had no idea that Melinda's could do so. We didn't have an Amazon store. I could 2.5 years ago, we started it, and it's phenomenal to me. It's our second largest retailer.
I was going to ask where it lines up in terms. Amazon for
right behind the other giant.
Oh, Amazon saved our
Walmart.
I'm going to say Amazon saved our business. It saved Eat Cleaner during the pandemic, as you can imagine. Just everybody being concerned about germs and bacteria and stuff. I mean, we had our best year in 2020, and I credit Amazon to that. I mean, our business blew up. And
the other thing I was going to say is that that what people don't understand is margins. Cost of manufacturing versus your margin, what it's going to sell for in a store, what they're going to buy it for, what your broker might need as a commission, what you need as a profit margin, and then what your cost is. All of this stuff has to be figured out ahead of time before you approach the market. Because if you go out with too high of a manufacturing cost, if you got a co-packer that's just killing you, you have to shop those co-packers. Or, if you're launching your own small manufacturing business, in a warehouse or out of your kitchen or home or whatever, which you can get approved by the FDA if you have all the right, assets that they ask for, as far as clean
cottage industry, right?
All that stuff. You can launch all this stuff on your own, but understanding what that cost is and what those margins are, that everybody needs their little piece along the line to get to that final retail thing. And then when you hit that part, you have to be able to discount that.
Yeah.
You have to be able to say, oh, you want to do a BOGO next month? Okay. Well, you're going to pay for that.
Yeah.
So you got to know that you have some margin there. Otherwise, you're going to promote for nothing.
Yeah. So know your COGS, know your, what you need to bake in to pay Peter, Paul, and Mary to get the product on the shelf. And on top of that, what are your marketing costs? How are you going to get the product out there? I was recently asked to, just kind of consult with somebody that was looking to get started, and they basically had zero budget. And I'm like, well, you can't grow your business with nothing. So how do you?
Well, you could grow your business incrementally with social media, and eventually, move those. Point all that traffic at Amazon.
Right. But I mean, I think by and large, unless you really have a social media engine or know what you're doing, you still need something. I mean, there needs to be something there. Do you recommend that people raise capital, or what do you think in terms of a funding approach has worked the best for you? And what do you advise others to look at?
Everybody's situation is different. But raising capital and getting partners and all this stuff, it all comes with a price, We were a family business, and now we have partners and auditors and a board of directors, and, so borrowing money, even from the bank, comes at a cost that, if it doesn't work out, you got to pay them back.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you have to be cautious about how much you're going to give up. How much you need. Will this business cash flow? I mean, understanding cash flow from day one is so important. How many people are you going to need to run? I know a lot of people that run the whole business by themselves. A lot of these barbecue influencers and guys that are out there launching sauces and rubs and stuff, they're doing everything. They're packing their boxes. They're running their website. They're running promotions. They're out there on the road, presenting, and they're doing it all, and it wears you out.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate. I've been there, done that, but I'm fortunate enough now to have, employees and staff and teams and, help all the way along with marketing. But to me, it's really a tough question,
It depends on the circumstance, essentially.
It really does depend on the circumstances. Try to borrow it from somebody you don't have to pay it back to first.
That would be ideal, right? Can I just borrow some money without paying it back?
Mom and dad, uncle, somebody.
Yeah, well, I mean that would be like a friends and family raise where, that's going to be a lot more lenient, and you're not going to have people breathing down your neck so much. Well, hopefully not. And then
it all comes with the cost.
But it comes with
of
giving
possibly
something
destroying
up.
relationships.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
To be earnest and to work hard and honor your obligations is important.
Is there such a thing as an overnight success?
It happens on occasion. Viral things happen, but there's no way to replicate it or make it. You can't cook it up.
Yeah.
I think it's so random.
No pun intended. You can't cook it up.
Can't cook it up.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up, David. This has been so intriguing and so nice to get to hear your story more. But we have to end with a question, and you don't get to give me multiple answers. It's got to be one. What is your favorite sauce out of the Melinda's lineup?
Oh, I get this question all the time, Maria, and it really is what I'm cooking. But if I had to pick just one sauce, it would probably be my original Melinda's garlic.
The garlic. I like the garlic.
Habanero in the glass pot.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
That sauce. It's not as hot. My number 2 would be the red Savina, and my number 3 would be this one right here.
The fire roasted. Yeah. Mine in order: black truffle, fire roasted, and I'm going to say the gochujang. The gochujang is become a fan favorite. I made I came home from the gym. It was late. I was hungry and I didn't meal prep. I had chicken sausages. I had some kimchi, and I made a simple salad with the chicken sausage. I put kimchi on it instead of sauerkraut and a little gochujang, and it was killer.
It's that word meal prep is something that I see with Melinda's so much. We have an ever-growing community of fitness people, whether they're bodybuilders, fitness instructors, coaches, whatever, that adore Melinda's because they love the macros and they love the flavor.
It's all there.
It helps them get through that boring meal prep thing.
Well, and I have to just say, as a sponsor of my latest competition, you guys saved my life, because it's very hard as a food person to navigate a cutting season where there are a lot of foods that get cut out and you get very, very little fat. So it really did save my sanity in so many ways. And I just like to say, listen, hot sauces are superfoods. They contain chilies that are full of immunity boosting, nutrients, and capsaicin, which is like a super nutrient, along with everything else that goes in there. So when you eat when you eat a Melinda's inspired dish, you're getting like superfoods in there too.
One of the first press releases we did back in I want to say maybe around 90-ish, was all about that. All about the health aspects of chili peppers. And it was written in books, but it really wasn't publicized that much. There really wasn't an internet and all this kind of stuff. But we put a press release out there about that, about how, chili peppers are higher in vitamin C than an orange. And, they're great for pain management and endorphin rush and all those good things that chili peppers can do for you. So I 100% agree. Us
adrenaline junkies. Yeah, just to quickly wrap up too, you had your own health journey that you've been on that you shared with me. Yeah. Can you just talk about that briefly?
Well, a couple of years ago, I was a former athlete, and over the years of this business, I just let myself go, and I came to the realization a couple of years ago that I was going to have both of my knees replaced, and I needed to do something because I've got a young mind and I'm very active and I'm all over the place and I can't be hobbled with bad knees. So I changed the way I eat. I cut back on things like alcohol and, foods that were bad for me. And I found a trainer who believes that you shouldn't have to replace your knees, that there's ways to exercise, retrain nerves, neural networks, and muscles that we lose as we sit on our butts working most of our lives. And I've been on a journey, and it didn't happen overnight. It's taken time, and I have my points where I fall back, and I have to use the tools I've learned to get back up again. But I'm moving great. I'm feeling great. My knees don't hurt. I don't have inflammation rifling through my body like I used to. I've lost about 35 pounds.
Incredible.
I go to the gym 3 to 4 days a week, and I love it. And I just take good care of myself, and I love myself a lot, and I love my family, and I know they want me around for a much longer time. So I made that decision to do something about it. And it's not easy.
Well,
easy to be lazy.
That is a great why. And, at the end of the day, you got to keep up with your mom, it sounds like.
Oh, I don't think I can. It's always good to shoot for the stars.
Yeah, right. Well, David, thank you so much for your time today. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you and learning more about Melinda's. Where is the best place for people to find you? And if they have any more questions about, the entrepreneurial journey.
Sure. I'm always scanning Melinda's Food. So at Melinda's Foods on Instagram, messages will get to me if they're sent. I also have my own Instagram at Chef Fig Official. And if they want to reach out to me, they can easily get to me through that channel as well. And I'd love to talk to you and help you if I can.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again, and to be continued. More food inspiration.
Let me know.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal health advice. We are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast. This podcast is not intended to replace professional medical advice, and the views expressed in this podcast may not be those of the host or the management. Hey, it's Chef Maria, and thank you so much for tuning into The Real Dish. It means a lot to me that you're here. I hope today's episode has inspired you to take some proactive steps towards a healthier and happier you. Because just remember, bite-sized changes can lead to big transformations. But before you go, would you do me a big favor? If you found value in this episode, would you share it with 2 of your closest friends and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode? And if you really want to make this girl's day, would you leave a 5-star review? I do hear an angel gets its wings every time you do that. But really, this helps us spread the message of real-life wellness to even more listeners. And everybody could use a healthy portion of that, right? Now, until next time, remember, you are the chef of your own kitchen. So feed your life well, make good decisions, prioritize your well-being, and remember, you need to take care of you because we only get one of you and you are a gift to everyone around you. So until next week, this is Chef Maria signing off. And just remember, we're here to cook up a good time every single week. We'll see you soon.